Hello, and welcome to this episode of Leadership Conversations on behalf of Women Automotive Network. I'm your host today. I'm Tomi. I'm a Senior Director at Catalyst, which is a not-for-profit organization that works with about 500 companies and organizations worldwide to advance women through workplace inclusion. Today, I'm delighted that we're joined by Rosa, who is the Executive Vice President of Bosch China, a member of Bosch China board and corporate HR head for APAC. Thank you very much today for joining us, Rosa. So I wanted to give you a chance to sort of tell us a little bit more about yourself, how you got to this position at Bosch, and a little bit about your background too.
Thanks for the invitation, Tomi, and really happy to share my side story a bit for the women in this network, because really supporting and enabling women to go higher, that's always my one of my aspirations. So hello again, I'm Rosa Lee. As Tomi mentioned, I work for Bosch, this great German company. Oh, almost 12 years now, right? So I started from actually my background, I would see I have one third working non-HR area as a lawyer, project manager, sales marketing manager, and 2/3 working in HR side on all the functions. And I have 1/3 working abroad, Singapore, Australia, Germany, more than 4 years, and then China. And then 2/3 all in China. So that's my, in short, my background. Currently, as Tom mentioned, I'm seeking Bosch China as one of the 4 board members and look after the people business for APAC. Yeah.
Thank you. Also looking at your background, I noticed that you've been at Bosch the longest. What keeps you at Bosch?
I think it's really the culture. The first thing is really the culture. When I look for employers or companies to work on, I like to have the culture which really meets with my value, because we all work so hard. Most Chinese are workaholic, right? And when we work for the company on many assignments, I want to work that with the air, the breathing you can breathe, which really meets with your personal value. So you can work hard, but still hard and happily. And so that's the most important thing. And that's the culture I really appreciate at Bosch side. The culture specifically on taking care of people, and strongly believe that talent is a major element for people and organization success.
Actually, you sort of brought one of the questions I wanted to ask later forward. 2 questions related to culture and people. One, how do you have fun at work? And I guess the next one I'd want to know about is, how do you reset once a team's gone through a bit of a change or a tough period? So take which one you like first.
Okay, both of them are simple because they are well established and well accepted practice at Bosch for a long time. So our EV, I just give you concrete examples. Have fun at Bosch, right? So we have really a big worldwide Bosch campaign called Like a Bosch. So it was really, if you guys have not seen it, just go to YouTube, and then we have millions and millions of likes on this this corporate communication video, which is very different from, I think we rolled it out, let's say 2018, like a Bosch, and it has such a wonderful Chinese translation, like a Bosch as well. And it's so different in the past, the Bosch image to many people. This is really like very, let's see how to describe it. It's a bit formal, it's classical, it's elegant. However, it's not so geek, not so funny, and not so internet industry like. So we have this like a Bosch new corporate video, which really illustrate many things as showed in our employee value proposition, the EVP. We have 3 keywords: grow, enjoy, inspire. So this is really one of our core value proposition to tell all our external candidates and internal talents. And we want everyone together with Bosch, they can grow themselves here and they enjoy, working with Bosch and also inspiring each other and being inspired by each other as well. So this is living EVP with Bosch, to back to your fun culture. And the second thing, the second question Tommy asked is, when we have new team members, how do we grow together with team member? Or what's your second question again?
Well, I just thinking, good, thank you for clarifying, asking me to clarify. Actually, one of the things I was thinking about is we've all been through quite tough and times during COVID and having to adapt the way we work. So not just COVID, but in terms of, I mean, with your industry, the sort of supply chain challenges that you've had that affect the workforce as well. So how do you lead a reset when you have these challenges, even though we're always in transition, if you know what I mean?
Yeah, so it's really good question, Tommy. I guess if nobody claim, Bosch China HR would claim, we have really we call it people product rolled out in 2020, right after China pandemic. It's called energy management. Energy management, because we strongly believe it's not about manage your time, but it's really about manage your energy. And we also do not want, in the past, we kind of have a reputation. Bosch is really good employer because you can be more relaxed. Work-life balance is good at Bosch. So that's not the real perception as employer will want. We really want people working for Bosch to avoid unnecessary energy consumption, longer time, overtime, those kind of things, but are fully energized at 4 level, physical, emotional, mindset, and spiritual. And we tend to spiritual because Chinese is not so, spiritual could be interpreted as religious. So we put spiritual into purposeful. So at all the 4 levels, we want people has their full energy, and we have HR has rolled out, developed and rolled out sub products at all level, physical level, mindset level, emotional level, and purpose level, which really enable individual, team, and organization in terms of VUCA environment, as you mentioned, pandemic, cheap supply shortage, geopolitical issues, many of the things. We need better energize the team and organization to prepare for all the challenges.
That's really interesting. Thank you. Thank you for the comprehensive answer too. I was just thinking today, as we're speaking as part of the Women Automotive Network, I wanted to take us into this and just think about and just hear from you what inspired you to join this network.
The reason to accept your invitation is very straightforward, because I always, as you said, you started by you organize a conference in automotive industry and you see rarely, women there. So the industry, I mean, most of my career, I work in the industrial automotive companies. It's really male dominated industrial. So I always have this aspiration and passion to support more women, woman for woman, and then also really strongly encourage women to succeed, to survival and succeed and really access to the highest potential. And that's really the reason I accept your invitation.
That's great. That's great. I wonder, how do you encourage women to go for opportunities within Bosch and also move them into those senior level positions as well?
I can talk about, at different aspects. And the first one, as an individual, I have a firm belief on, total person concept. If a man can have career, family, finance, kids, sports, everything, network. Why woman is only one side? Why woman is only career or life? Woman should be as a human being equally, to be also a total person, owns everything like a normal person, like a man. Which means career and life or family is not exclusive to each side. So this total person concept always um, get me where I am, as your early question asked. And so that's also my simple concept I advocate in Bosch and outside Bosch. So first, I think every woman should, from a mindset level, have this sense that as a woman, I can have everything, just like men. So this is the first thing. And second thing, my individual level, actually, I'm a mentor and also a coach for many women, inside and outside Bosch. So really, if nobody claimed, I really want to, I can claim I invented this word called global, global means local leader assume global responsibility.
Yeah.
And that's also, other than total person concept, I want, it really encourage much more Asians, Chinese, have the guards, competencies, courageous, enough to be a global leader, as a local. So that's the thing at individual level I do. And at Bosch, I think Bosch is really a company strongly promote DEI. We have a wonderful team. When I was in Germany, they also part of my team, working on this DEI team to really promote Bosch, much more women get into the higher level. So Bosch is a strong supporter on all aspects of DEI, although it's really not easy as we are, in the male-dominated industry. I would say our female at all the leadership level is a bit beyond our expectation, and that's why we always drive DEI continuously, as this is a journey, not just one step success.
That's good to hear. And sticking with the organizational sort of approach to DEI, what do you personally perceive as some of the hurdles that women have to overcome that don't appear to be the same for men? So although women do have broader opportunities to participate fully in the workforce, what are the other challenges, seen and unseen, that women have to sort of overcome that men don't typically have to?
I think everything comes from purpose and mindset. The first thing is still this self-awareness or strong belief that, I can, as a man can, right? So this is the first thing. And then once you have this, and the other things is really like the tactics, the how. I think the why should be really firm and strong. Like I can, regardless my social role, family role, whatever I can. And then the tactics have different challenges. The how part has different challenges in different country. I was like several years in Germany. I think in Germany, the thing is the social supporting system is different from China. Like China, you can, as a working mom, you can easily have a supporting system. Like China parents are more than happy to support the kids, right? But maybe Western parents, they think, I want to enjoy my own life. I don't want to help my son or my daughter to raising their kids. And this is one difference. Also, like in China, it's quite affordable. They have cost effectiveness to hire nanny, to support working moms. But maybe in Germany, it's quite expensive, frankly speaking, to hire full day nanny, to support you as a working mom, especially, when kids are younger. So I think in different countries, the different social, political, in economical environments, but still you can. I give you really example of myself. When I work in Germany as a global HR leader, my daughter is only 7 years old that time, and my husband has another global role. He cannot, he's not willing to give up his role to come to support me. my son, is studying in US, of course, and he cannot abandon the thing. So basically, I hired my sister and brother-in-law, who are much more, they were 13 years older than me, and they just get retiring that time, from university. So I personally hired them to go with me and my 7-year-old daughter to Germany, to taking care of my daughter. And this is the first case for German embassy in Shanghai, and the first case in Stuttgart, that individual hire individual. Because I need it as a global role, I definitely have to travel a lot, right? So I cannot let my 7-year-old daughter leave her, and nobody taking care. Actually, I asked her, I said, can you stay in Shanghai, staying with grandparents? And she said, no, mommy, where you go, I follow you. So for that reason, yeah, I did this. I have to pay, minimum salary. I have to pay Social Security, whatever, to my sister and brother-in-law. It's quite some money, in Europe, but it's really worth it. And then another German lady, also the same, she is a global sales leader for one of our business units, a big one. When we first met, we chat on this, and she said, Rosa, amazing, your husband is not with you, you have a daughter, how do you make it? And I share with her my story, and she said, you know what, I did exactly the same thing. And as a German, as I mentioned, in Germany, it's very expensive. You have an au pair who can only work in the family, take care of kids for 2 hours, no more than 2 hours, and she cannot do house cleaning, cooking, those kind of things. So as a German woman, a global business leader, she hired her one of her au pair, and really paid a lot to make a full-time job to support her as a global role, because her husband is also working. So in this case, you can I just want to use the 2 real cases, me and the German lady, to illustrate, once you have the mindset, you want to create success, you think you can do, even in a tough social supporting system like Germany, you can still make it. The tactics, the how, is can be found once you have this why and what. That's my tips.
Interesting. So childcare is one of the obstacles that have to be overcome if you're a working parent or even a carer. That's really interesting.
And definitely more, right? You need much more saying to get there. You have to really do wonderful performance, at your current job. But other than that, I think you also need many other traits or competencies. You need to understand how the organization, what are the strategic directions organizations are go, and what can you contribute there. And you constantly reskill and upskill yourself, number one. But number two, for I think in the male-dominated industry, you need to also understand how the games are played, right? Maybe you do not go golfing, you do not do those I don't know, sailing or whatever sports together with a male, but you need to know how would decisions informally made. You need to align and then get into the final decision process as early as possible. So that's something I think also you can call it influencing skill, you can call it the right enough political savvy, or strategic communication. That's also crucial, important. I think most of the time as an Asian, maybe also for women, we think we do a great job. You bury your hats, you work, and you think as long as I do a great job, someone will find me. I'll be seen. It was me in a younger time, until one day I find, bury my hats, only focus on the great content side. It's not enough. You need more things, to tackle the surroundings in order to make more impact. And that's maybe not written in the book, but you need to figure it out.
It does seem like an unwritten rule, and that makes me wonder how how you learn this? Is it through mentors and sponsors speaking with you and sort of advocating on your behalf, as well as noticing what's around you and what's working and what other colleagues are doing that are working?
Yeah, for sure. I think two things. You have to always have reflection, self-reflection, right? You need to ask yourself, what happening, and then you need to have a self-dialogue. That's one thing. Another thing, you definitely need support. You need support from women, you need support from men, and I think mentor and coach definitely play extremely important role. In my career, I always have a great mentor, and then also executive coach. They make you see what you don't see, right? So, and your self-reflection plus the windows are opening, which will definitely help you excel easier.
Okay, a couple of questions just to round off. With regards to environmental, social, and governance requirements, how does this shape your leadership, especially within China, where you're based?
I don't think leadership is like pretty much defined only by the social, economical, political environments. I would think, it's even influenced more by the corporate culture. Each company has a different characteristics. It comes from the legacy, the history, but also the strategic direction the company want to go, which need certain strategic skills you can contribute. So I think this go beyond more than the country national culture. I think the corporate culture plays a more than the national culture, which means the leadership usually fits to one company may not need fits to the second company, even you in the same country, right? For example, the multinational company versus a Chinese company, but Chinese government-owned company or Chinese private-owned company, they have different requirements, although you're all in China. So I think you have to really understand what's your corporation's requirements there. And then also, of course, observe how does that landed in your nation. Yeah.
That's really interesting. So context really matters. And then it's sort of like an onion. So yeah.
Yeah.
So two more questions and then maybe we'll close, or let me know what you think. But what advice would you give someone who wanted to enter the auto industry and maybe more broadly STEM, since you've sort of spent a lot of your career within the sort of STEM category?
Yeah, I would, I really always regret because my major is law, right? And which made me harder, in a technical driven, technology driven auto or industrial industry. So and then this is one thing. Another thing is if if you are a commercial leader, that's fine. But you really want to be a business leader, I think you need these technology enablers. So my advice is when women are younger, if you really have passion and strengths on the technical side, fully believe women can step into the STEM area, very well. So that if you have technology background, it's much easier to survive, sustain, and excel in the technology industry. That's my first advice, and the earlier the better. And the second thing is, I think everything comes from passion and strengths. You need to, you step earlier, not because everyone said automotive is sexy. It's because you really like the industry and you have strengths, in the technology or something relevant to the automotive side. So that's my two advice. Passion and strengths based, number one, and number two, the earlier getting to the relevant skills, the better.
So just focusing on strengths then, does that mean you're a natural optimist in terms of your approach and your outlook on life?
Yes, I'm definitely a natural optimist by born. Now we actually promote positive leadership in Bosch for several years, and my strong belief is everyone is a talent It's just in different domain. So I think as HR and as leaders, you just need to find out what are talent, strengths, and passion, and put them on the right strengths-based roles, and then they will definitely excel. So I think this is my firmly belief.
Brilliant. And is there anything you wish I asked you today that I haven't asked you yet, just to finish this interview?
Yeah, I think in general, and it's so interesting, you know, Tomi, you guys sit in London, I'm here in Shanghai, and we connected and have so many interesting discussions. So my feeling is more and more, it's a pity, you know, as a normal people, we see the trends on this decoupling, you know, the more and more geopolitical things. But my firm belief is, regardless how the world is tend to be disconnected, people need to connect together. So I think, I strongly believe when people are more connected, we can generate much more value.
Thank you very much. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you for your insights on leadership. Thank you. I could also hear you sort of, especially with the last response, kind of touching on the points of empathy as well. I know you've spoken about that before as a way to connect and bond, and also deepen those relationships within the workplace, even if it's sort of remote, as you were sort of pointing on as well. Well, I just wanted to thank you for your time today.
Thank you. All the best.